case you didn't.
On the minutes?
On the ordinance.
Oh, on the I found one thing on the ordinances.
Ah, there's John.
John, wow, all right. In the flesh, that's right. Back from vacation.
I don't know, do you have a name tag? Do we? Oh, wow.
Right. We didn't forget, nobody forgot you, you know.
I checked mine.
Oh, there's Alice.
There's
Whoa.
Alan, wow.
Oh, he's on Zoom. I thought it was gonna be in person. I'm gonna go, by now I'm gonna pass out.
There's Ethan, look at this.
Oh my goodness, I think we're all here.
No, Alan, of course, is at home.
Well, I mean, we're all in a time.
Oh, you know,
We are all in attendance.
I mean, it went
Right, yeah.
that fast from.
oop,
Alan's the only smart one.
Stayed home long enough.
Yeah. Tell me when we've got the
Okay,
YouTube
we
feed.
are up and running.
So YouTube's up and running as well? Okay, well, let's get started. Let's do this. So we want to welcome everyone to the Alpine City Planning Commission meeting of Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. And we have with us here in the Alpine City building, Troy Slade, Planning Commission, Ethan Allen, Planning Commission, John McKay, Ed Bush, Sylvia Christiansen. I'm Jane Greiner, and we have Alan McDonald, who's joining us by Zoom. For the city, we have Austin Roy, the city planner, and on our Zoom call, we have Jed Mulestein, the city engineer, and Marla Fox is recording. And so we will go ahead and get started. We have Ethan Allen will give us an opening prayer, and then Troy Slade will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we're thankful that we could meet today and for the opportunity we have to serve in the city, and thankful for this beautiful day, and we ask that we may be able to make the decisions that will help our city be strong and be a beautiful place to live and for families to grow. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
amen. You gotta turn right here. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Keep forgetting to put my mic on. So now if there is anyone who has public comment on any item that is not on the agenda, we will hear that now. Did you receive any messages, Austin, for items that are not on the
I
agenda?
did not receive anything.
Okay, all right, so then we'll move on to our action items. So the first action item we have tonight is the preliminary and final plat for Cherry Point subdivision. Austin, are you introducing that?
I'll start off, and then I think Jed probably has more to say on it. So
Okay.
I'll just kind of introduce and then he can take it from there.
Sounds-
So this is, let me just go ahead and pull it up on the screen, actually. So the Cherry Point subdivision, if I'll recall, you saw this concept not too long ago. And so what we're looking at here is essentially, it's showing two lots right now, but it's a two-phase subdivision. So right now they just want to do this first lot one that you see here on the east side on the right-hand side of your screen. It's a 40,000 square foot lot, basically to meet the bare minimum of the zone. So altogether, the whole project is on 6.12 acres. So it'd be two lots. The smallest lot is 0.92 acres. The larger one would be 4.9. Kind of some background on this. So lot two, there's a home on there, existing home, currently owned by Pete Christensen. And he's been wanting to build a new home for his wife. And so that's what he's working with Josh James to do that on lot one. So Josh James owns all of this, but Pete Christensen basically has a life estate on there, so he can live out his days on there. And so he wants to do this new home on lot one. Lot two would be done as a separate phase. It's probably not going to just be one lot. It might be more than one lot in the future, but it would just be kind of done as a second phase. So right now, the preliminary plan, we're just looking at this. We're approving where the lot location is. We're looking at the street location. And Jed will go into that in more detail in a second, but looking at the lots, they meet the minimum standards for the zone. The use is just a single family home, so nothing out of the ordinary there. The property is not located in the wetland interface, so we don't have to worry about any of those concerns. Final approval on this. So the second phase will come in and they'll have to do their own final plat at that time. So at this point in time, they're wanting to do the preliminary approval of both lots, but then they want to do the final approval of lot 1 or the first phase of this subdivision. So they can start building that and get that approved. Right now, the city is kind of working with Josh James and his representatives to kind of figure out some agreement, because being that the second portion of it wouldn't come until later. And the city does have plans to kind of improve Grove Drive. So we're working on some kind of an agreement that's being drafted right now to kind of iron out those details. But from a planning and zoning perspective, we don't see any issues with this, and staff does recommend it from a planning and zoning standpoint. Jed, are you on?
I am. I just had to unmute myself there. Yeah, Austin pretty much covered most of what I was already going to say. This is a pretty straightforward development. I mean, the whole goal here is right now is to get another home or a new home for Pete Christensen. And this was actually brought up at concept at the planning commission level. The concern was, well, he's proposing this development. When developments come in, they are required to improve their frontage. But then we heard that phase 2 of this development's going to be quite a ways down the road, possibly 10 to 20 years or more. So the city would like to improve Grove Drive probably within the next 5 to 10 years. So we'd be before him. So yeah, as Austin mentioned, we're working with the developer to work up some kind of a development agreement where if the city wants to improve Grove Drive prior to the developer improving it, then we'd work out something with him to where he would dedicate the right of way to the city at that time, and we wouldn't have any right of way issues. Other than that, this application is for preliminary, which is usually fairly extensive on the engineering side, but as you can see, it's essentially just one new lot. So in terms of utilities, sewer water and secondary water does exist in front of their house or in front of the lot. So there's no issues there being able to connect, and they do show on their plans new services for the lots. And then they also show they will dedicate a small portion of right of way right in front of lot 1 where there's not quite 54 feet currently. Yeah, honestly, that's about it. It's a pretty straightforward development. The main things were, yes, we do need to get that development agreement figured out and have that available for city council to review and approve as this phase 1 goes to city council. And also, developments are required to do frontage improvements, which includes curb, gutter, and sidewalk. In this situation, we would just have the developer provide funds for those improvements, but we wouldn't require them to be installed right now because currently there's no improvements up there and there's no improvements for them to connect to. So it'd be kind of pointless to put in one section of curb, gutter, and sidewalk right now. So as far as the recommendation goes, we really just have those two things, that the city council reviews and approves the development agreement, and that the developer provide funds for the improvements of curb, gutter, and sidewalk along the frontage of lot 1 prior to recording the plat. And that's all I've got.
Hey, Jed, this is Ed. So with the right of way that they would be giving in lot 1, that would then be able, Grove Drive would then have 54 feet then in front of lot
Correct.
1? Okay.
Yep.
And we're doing preliminary for lot 1 and 2 and
Yep.
final for lot 1. So is
Correct.
that all in one motion?
It is.
Okay.
Is there a reason why we're not impounding the fees needed to improve lot 1 at the same time we're doing,
Mhm.
lot 2 rather, at the same time that we're doing lot 1?
So we can only do that when they actually record that phase. So if they came in, say, just next year, then we would require them to put up those funds for those improvements at that time, but we really can't require that until they actually come in for final.
And so do you want, are we involved at all in making any kind of recommendation as far as the agreement with the builder and what you want to work out for the full length of Grove Drive there?
Not necessarily, it's more
Okay.
money related issues, so that's.
Okay, so we just
Yeah.
need to stick with the funds for lot 1, curb and gutter, sidewalk curb and gutter.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay,
So Jed, another question on the plan for Grove Drive in general. Is there a plan to curb and gutter up Grove Drive?
So it's been in the discussion and the works for years. Honestly, the budget for next year is going to city council next week, and it's not in next year's budget. It's one of those things that it's going to be a very large project. We have to install about a mile's worth of storm drain. So
Right.
it's going
Right.
to take some time and budgeting to get it all figured out. God, I talk so much, I can't even remember your question now.
Yeah, no, because I was wondering, I mean, so on the north-south side of this development, it looks like, sidewalk is planned just for the west side of the
Correct.
road, right? And I
Correct.
was wondering, not that I think it's a good idea, to do this, but, it might end up that we only put the side, if we do that with curb and sidewalk, the sidewalk might only go on one side of Grove Drive all the way up,
Yeah, you're correct. So right now, the north-south segment of Grove Drive, because
Yeah.
of the constrictions of the existing homes, we would only plan to do one side, and that would be on the west side.
Right.
But we would have curb and gutter on both sides, obviously, but only sidewalk on the west.
Right.
From the 90-degree bend going east, that's kind of all up in the air at the moment. It's just, honestly, it's just so far down the road, we haven't really investigated it too much yet.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
any other questions?
We don't presently have the the recommendation of approval subject to an agreed upon development plan or agreement. Should we add that?
It is in the model motion, yes. The first bullet point there.
It's only, the only thing in the model motion is the collection of the fees for the lot 1 curb and gutter.
Well, you go to page 5, it's the first bullet says city council reviews and approves the development agreement as proposed by staff.
Let's see if I can pull it up on
Are you on page 5?
Is that
Not
a,
the,
screen here.
Is that an updated one or is that the original one?
this is the one that,
Original.
Here we go. I have it on the screen.
yeah,
if you
thank
wanna
you.
look.
That's the one right there. Okay.
I move to approve the preliminary plan and recommend approval of the Cherry Point Plat A final plan with the following conditions. The city council reviews and approves the development agreement as proposed by staff. The developer provides funds for the improvements of curb and gutter and sidewalk along the frontage of lot 1 prior to the plat.
We have a motion by Sylvia Christiansen. Do you have a
Second it.
second? Second by John. Okay, all in favor, Alan,
I,
and then Troy,
Aye.
Ethan,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Sylvia,
Aye.
Jane, I. So that passes unanimously. And we'll go to city council. Okay, so we'll move to the next item, action item, which is the public hearing for ordinance 2021-10, the sign content that we've been working on a bit. And so Austin, do you want to go over that?
Yeah. So this has come here before. We've since kind of cleaned it up a little bit. If you notice the beginning of the ordinance here, the language has been simplified and cleaned up quite a bit. So that's what we're looking at here in these whereas statements. Down here, this is the actual content of the amendments to the ordinance. So we're starting with the definitions. You look here, we've just kind of tightened up some of these definitions. So quasi-public. We're just trying to get rid of some inconsistent language as well as language that that deals with the content of signs rather than the place, location, and type of sign.
Okay.
So that's our objective is, the main objective is what we're trying to clean up here. So if
So right there, if you go to where it says sign A-frame, okay, so if you look right underneath that, the sign construction,
yes,
that sentence just ends there with a comma. You've got a
Right.
temporary sign placed on a site identifying new construction development, comma, the contractor.
it's temporary sign, yeah.
So
that's
that
true.
needs to say and or contractor period or something like that. Basically, it's identifying a new construction development.
Probably should have been cut off at that other comma.
Okay, either eliminate the contractor. I mean, often the contractor's name is on it, but that's not really the point. So I would say after development, put a period and get rid of the contractor. And then the sign shall be placed only on the site. Yeah. So that was one of the ones I
Good
noticed.
catch.
Anybody else notice? There's a few others I noticed like that.
That's the only one I noticed, but I do want to know why, the construction plus development sign, why all that other stuff is crossed out, because they're almost always on there. And I think the plat, map particularly is of good information. Are they
It's just
allowed-
because
They
that's
can
talking
do all
about
of
the
that.
content of the sign.
Yes,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
you
this is-
can't
This is just the
designate the
definition
content.
sections, right? So it's just kind of identifying.
We're just
what-
trying to come up with a definition that's not based on content. So
Yeah,
we-
and that, if
scratch
you
that.
remember, that was the goal, is to remove any reference to content, but rather just define the signs.
So I also want to compliment staff. I thought they really went through this with a fine tooth comb and with a few exceptions of typos or whatnot, I think they did a really good job. as relates
It
to
was much
content.
better,
And
yeah.
I was really impressed, so. I don't know if that in the background, who's actually doing this.
We have
Passing it around or what, but I just. thought-
a leprechaun that does
Secret
it all.
ordinance writer.
Ghost
Austin, if you'll go down to it's page 19 in the packet, but it's page 6 in the ordinance.
Page 6
There's
in the
another weird
ordinance
sentence
itself.
that
Okay,
says-
4, 5, okay, this page right here.
Permanent, yeah. Let's see, keep going down to where it says permanent signs in residential.
Permanent signs.
It's top of page 6
Top of page
in the
6, okay.
ordinance, yeah.
Oh, that's right here. Here we go.
Okay, so it says permanent signs in residential signs. So I'm not sure what, permanent signs in residential signs
That should be areas.
It
Yeah,
should say
it has
residential
areas.
zones.
Zones.
or zones, okay. And then it has such as a home occupation signs. So the S has got to go away, such as a
Or
home occupation sign.
Yeah, okay. I'm writing that down.
Okay. So permanent signs in residential zones, such as a home occupation sign. It seems like there might have been one other.
I'm always embarrassed to be so picky, but
Ah.
Jane's leading the way.
Be
Yeah.
picky.
My leader.
By all means.
These are
Okay, on
actually
page
not-
9 of the ordinance, number 3, there should be a comma after zones. Comma.
Page 9. After zones, a comma.
There's some grammatical in there too, but like.
Now's your chance. That's good. I'm glad we took away all of that section there on page 8. Temporary sign for residential zones. That must be it. I was thinking there was one more, but it was, I don't see it, so that's great.
Yeah, I too thought it was a really good job.
Much improved.
Yeah,
wasn't
you
it?
know, on the whole thing.
Great, yeah, that's great. So everything you guys can catch is always a good thing, so.
Oh, okay. I see what it was. It was the lowercase being struck out. Okay. For the temporary real estate signs, I was like, what, there's this little S and then there's this little E, but it's actually, it wasn't an E, it was a C with a strike through. So I was trying to figure out where this like little E came from. So, okay, I don't see anything else. So anybody else have any suggestions, comments, questions, changes?
Don't have a staff feel like it's good to go.
I think it's pretty good. Yeah, so one of the sections that's been the hardest for us to kind of iron out is like the political signs and stuff, especially with that season's now almost upon us. So you can actually, you know, people are signing up for that right now to run. And so we just wanted to make sure that section was clear. So we've had a couple discussions with our city attorney about what needs to be in there and what we can and cannot regulate. And so, but yeah, I think we feel good about where we're at now, so.
Well, I don't know why they're given 30 days following election to take signs down. I think it should be like 5 days.
I think it might be state. It seems like.
Law.
Mhm. Who knows?
Yeah.
See, it does seem like a long time.
Well, I don't know, maybe, well, I'll make a comment after. Never mind. Just joking. Okay, do we have a motion?
I move to recommend that ordinance 2021-10 be approved with the changes that we've noted during our meeting.
Okay, we have a motion by John. Okay, a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, second by Ethan Allen. Any discussion? Oh, wait, stop, public hearing.
That's right, this is
Hold
a
your
public
motion.
hearing.
hold on, hold on.
Dang.
Hold
Go
on,
back.
hold on, we almost got ahead of ourselves.
She's got the gavel.
Okay, so this change of ordinance requires a public hearing, and since this was significantly changed, we decided we should do this one more time with this. So have anyone who's watching on YouTube that would like to make a public comment, go ahead and type that in now if you haven't yet. And while we're giving you a few seconds to do that, Austin, will you see if anyone emailed us regarding public comment to this item?
Go ahead and pull that up right now and then.
We could have the people here come up and make comments.
Yes, if anyone
Yeah.
in the room would like to come
Yeah.
forward, please do. State your name and address.
Okay, well, it doesn't look like we have a lot
Okay.
of viewers on YouTube right
Okay.
now.
Well,
So
there's a lot of hot topics here tonight. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and close the public hearing portion of this item. And now, John, will you-
I move that we recommend that ordinance 2021-10 be approved with the changes that we've noted during the meeting tonight.
Okay, with motion by John McKay and a
And
second
I'll
by
second that.
Ethan Allen. Okay, any discussion now? Okay,
I'm concerned that that last motion is just hanging there.
it basically strikes.
It was illegitimate.
It was yes, because you can't make the motion before the public hearing, so
Yes.
it is not hanging. We put it to bed. It's dead.
Never
It never existed, yeah. So we'll go ahead. All those in favor of the motion, Alan,
Aye.
okay, Troy,
Aye.
Ethan,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Sylvia, and Jane, aye. Okay, so the motion passes. And that concludes all of our action items for the meeting today. So do we have any communication?
No, I don't think we really have communications. I mean, yeah, if any of you are interested in running for city council, now's the time. So put your hat in the ring and
What is the last date to,
it's, I believe it's next Monday.
okay.
Yeah, so,
Or any of your neighbors or friends, we really need to encourage
Right.
good people
someone,
to
yeah.
be, who are willing, as you guys know, to put in time like this, so.
Do we know who the candidates are at this point?
I don't keep track of that. That'd be Bonnie. So
You could
I
check
know
in with someone if you
yeah,
want to. I
but
think it's.
you can
public.
probably pay her a
I think you
visit
can.
or,
Just curious.
No?
yeah,
Well,
I'm not up to
sometimes
speed
people
on
wanna
that.
put their
So,
name in if there's only one person. No, don't leave. No, you can do whatever you want. Okay, no communication
I have
then.
one.
Oh, yes, communication.
So, I have a pet peeve, and that is people who are developing properties and just sitting on them and, waiting for them to increase in value, but yet they don't take care of the weeds and whatnot. And so what do we do about that? Because particularly on Healy
Boulevard.
Boulevard. where I drive a lot, there are so many weeds around the fire hydrant that you can't even see the fire hydrant.
So you file a complaint with the city, and then the city will tell the owner that they have to take care of their property, and if they don't, they get fined.
yeah, if they don't, we'll actually go and cut the weeds and then we'll send them a bill.
So
So
what's the city? I mean, do I just?
Call-
I just email you?
call Tommy. Tommy's our code enforcer. So
It's a new
he's the
code
one you need
enforcer.
to let him know. Yep.
And that's a good point. That is a problem and
I'm
safety
really
hazard
just
too.
scared that you honestly cannot see that fire hydrant.
Yeah,
There's
well,
so many weeds around it.
yeah, and
Which means it could be-
also a fire safety issue with as the summer
Yeah.
goes on, so. Great.
Along those same lines, we have a similar issue on Hog Hollow, mainly that the sidewalks are not swept and we've got this rock fall that makes it impassable or unusable. Is that
That's
the
really
important.
responsibility or is that the landowner?
And this is is it city property or private property that's
Sidewalk,
happening on?
is that-
It depends, is there a lot that it's
Is it coming
associated
off a
with,
certain
or
lot,
is
or-
it
is that
against
everything
open
on the north
space?
side that's
Probably
all
open
that
space.
Just on that north
blue
side.
bison property?
I think a lot of that is actually city open space. Some of it might be kind of the Blue Bison property. So
Same,
it's
so
probably
we
a mix
should
of,
report
it's
that
probably
to the
either one of
city.
those,
That
but
is a
report it
safety hazard
and we'll
for
go
sure.
look at it and whatever needs to be done, we'll address it. So, but yeah, just give us a phone call. Usually if you notice an issue, whether it's, weeds or rock fall or,
Or like
um,
trees blocking signs. I know
someone
we've
with
had where
a-
you can't go to make a turn and it's in the side.
whatever it
triangle.
is, yeah, give a
So
phone call
Tommy
and we
as
can
well.
direct you to the right person. But most of those are gonna be handled probably by Tommy in our code compliance and,
Then if he finds out the city is the one who's not being compliant, he can take care of that too.
yeah.
One other issue that it's on Lambert Park is the fence around the ruin and whatever is in disrepair. And
So those fences,
Yeah.
those are not like official city fences. I think they might have been done as some kind of a Eagle
Project.
Scout project or some type of service project at one point. They are in disrepair. We've actually had some complaints over the weekend about people trampling the poppies up there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
some
You might
people,
wanna
people want a
bring that
good
to city
picture and they
council,
think it
though,
looks
'cause they
great if you
spend
lay in the
money.
poppies
Right.
and then
Yeah.
everybody after them doesn't get to see the poppies, so.
Because they're
Yeah.
spending money on that in other places.
What do you do?
So, do they, I can't remember when we made the ordinance that took motorized vehicles out of Lambert Park. Can you get a permit to drive an elderly person up to the poppies this time of year? It seemed like June only they were allowing permits for the
In the
elderly.
past, we were doing a temporary permit that you
Right.
could get for like an elderly person
Yeah.
or someone that wasn't very mobile.
Are they
You-
still doing that? Do you know?
I don't believe
Okay.
I don't believe we're still doing that. I think it was just that
They
one
just
season.
can't go.
Yeah.
Austin, I think
don't
we
know.
are. I'd just have them talk to Shane.
Okay,
We'd have to check on that.
Yeah,
I can't imagine us not being, if someone really wanted to go see it, I'm pretty sure we would figure something out so they could go see it.
That would seem.
Yeah.
That-
Or the
that was kind of
the
one of
cities
the-
usually, we try and help people out. So if someone
Yeah.
wanted to go see him, we would find a way.
okay. I thought that's how we left it, but then I wanted to take an elderly person up there and I wasn't sure anymore, so. Okay, any other communication? Great communication. Be asking your friends and neighbors who might be interested in planning commission, as Sylvia may be moving before the end of the year. Or before the end of the summer or something, which we will simply hate to lose her.
Or maybe never.
Or maybe we will go sabotage. Yes,
Maybe I'll just say forget it.
closer to family, possibly, out of state, so.
That is a pretty good possibility.
Just tell them
Yeah.
the planning commission is your top priority
Yeah.
right now.
Yes.
Right.
We are your family.
Haven't you seen us over at your house?
The money cuts off. once.
Okay. Okay, let's have an approval of the minutes. And Sylvia was not here, so. Does anyone else have?
I did read them, though, I didn't see
Mhm.
any glaring problems, so everyone just needs to check what they have said.
Yeah.
and if they recorded correctly.
Okay, somebody want to make a motion? Or do you want to take a minute to look through them? Okay, we just need a motion then.
I'll make a motion. if you want the date
Okay.
is. I motion that we approve the minutes from the May 18th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting as is presented to us in the package.
Okay, we have a motion by Ed. Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, second by Ethan Allen. And I just want to verify that we did have last time, Ed, Ethan, John, Jane, and Troy were all present, right? In one form or another.
Yes,
Okay,
that's great.
okay,
Remember, John was on vacation.
that's right. I do remember
John
that.
was,
I
yes.
just couldn't
One at a
remember.
time.
He was.
Who ended up-
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna thought I was gonna join, and then
Yeah.
my brother showed up at my mom's house. and-
Yeah, that's okay. It all worked out, so. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, so the minutes pass, and we do need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I motion that we adjourn the meeting.
We have a motion by John McKay to adjourn the meeting. Do we have a second?
I will second that.
And a second by Troy Slade. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
hey.
Meeting is adjourned.
All right, fantastic. Wow.
That was the best. Good way to start.
Wow.
Or we just had two really simple items.
Yeah. Are we off the air?
Is-